If you were to ask me what is my favorite horror movie series, I would say it's this movie and this movie. But which one do I like more, and why do I like this one more? Well, I'll tell you why. I will tell you why It 2017 is better than It Chapter 2. Now, you have to put yourself in the shoes of a 6-year-old, of a 6th grade kid who saw the trailers for this movie back in 2017, and you have to imagine that this was the scariest. It was thought, at least by me, to be the scariest movie ever made. It was horrific, it was scary, it was dark, it was bloody, it was everything that you could ever want in a horror movie. Now, I saw the original, this one. I saw this one way before I saw the 2017 version. This one is not in the conversation, though. But that is a good movie. Or miniseries, whatever you want to call it, if you're not. But It 2017 was released, and it was a smash hit. This movie was everywhere. It was everywhere. Everyone was talking about it. It was literally the biggest movie of 2017. Literally the biggest movie ever. For me, the scariest part about this movie was all the special effects and all the Pennywise, all the things he could do with his face and all the things that he could change into, like the painting lady. The painting lady was the scariest one. The headless kid and all that. And this movie was very big in my school. Very, very big. Everyone was talking about it. Everyone was saying it was the best horror movie in years. And I agree. Because not only was this, like most horror movies, take this movie for example. Jigsaw. This was released in, whoops, pick that up. This movie was released in 2017, right? But in my opinion, it's a goof. I absolutely love the Saw series. I don't want to hate on it because it's literally one of my favorite movie series of all time. But Jigsaw was a bit goofy. All the new cast of characters, they weren't like John Kramer, or they weren't like what is his name? Lawrence, or they weren't like Mark Hoffman, who had already had experience with their characters and were all serious and were all scary villains. No, these guys were kind of, they were amateurs. I do admit the acting was great, but, they weren't as convincingly horrific as the original actors. No hate to the new actors that were in Jigsaw. They were pretty good. But when It 2017 came out, this movie was dark. It was really dark. It was scary. Not in the sense that like like all the gore and stuff, but it had very, very dark themes like child abuse, child molestation, like Beverly's dad, rape. It had all that kind of stuff that I had never even seen in a horror movie before. So, to me, it was kind of revolutionary in a way. Not in the sense that it revolutionized the themes that would be in horror movies, but it went there. It went there with all of that stuff. All the stuff with, what is his name? All the stuff with, what the hell is his name? Henry Bowers. All this stuff. I don't know why it took me so long to remember his name. All the stuff with Henry Bowers killing his dad and all that. And like how none of the kids had a healthy relationship with their parents. So this movie was it was amazing. It is amazing still. It'll become a classic. I bet you it'll become a horror classic in a few years. It already is a classic, honestly. And just like the thing is, this movie was released before the coronavirus, and it was released back in 2017. I'm talking way too much on this movie. But the thing is, I really love this movie because it shows, it reminds me of what I used to do with my friends. No, we didn't used to go killing clowns. We just used to hang out, and we used to be friends before all coronavirus. Now, that was the first chapter. And everyone was like, when's the second chapter? Everyone was like, it's a book. There's a second chapter. Oh boy. It 2019 came out in 2019. Well, It Chapter 2 came out in 2019 to a roaring feedback or like critical success. This movie, oh my god, you have no idea how huge this movie was back in 2019. If you knew the hype, if you were hyped for this movie back in 2019, you know how huge this movie was. This movie was everywhere. It was claimed as the #1 movie in the world. Well, most movies are claimed as #1 movie in the world, like 1917. But anyways, It Chapter 2 is huge. It came out to like this roaring success. It was everywhere. There were posters. There was all kinds of stuff behind the scenes. There was VR things that you could do, virtual reality videos that were uploaded on YouTube, trailers, clips, everything, pirated versions of the movie. This movie was just it's probably the hugest movie of 2019. But here's my problem with the movie. The movie is not as dark or scary as the original, and it relies a lot more on jump scares than just like the original movie had atmospheric horror. Atmospheric horror is basically you're in this this dark, decrepit place with a creature that you don't understand how it works. That's scary. But in this movie, the thing is, they turned this movie into like a dark horror comedy, a black comedy. Don't get me wrong, I loved the actor for Richie Tozier. He was awesome. He was so funny. The ending was sad. It was sad. You know, there was that controversy about how they killed Adrian Mellon, and the LGBTQ community got really upset about that. But in my opinion, this movie was just way more goofier than the first one. The first movie was dark, it was scary, it was twisted, it was daring. This movie, I think it's the same thing that The Nun suffered from. I love The Nun, and I love It Chapter 2. I love everything. But it suffered from the same thing that The Nun suffered from. It was just way too hyped, and it came out, and people were like, hey, this isn't what we wanted. Where's my money? But yeah. So if I had to say, I think that It 2017 is the better movie. I'm not saying It Chapter 2 is a bad movie. I'm just saying that I much more prefer this one than this one. Both are pretty cool movies. They're very awesome. Not pretty, they're very. But yeah. So, what do you guys think? Do you prefer It Chapter 2 or do you prefer It 2017? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.